All right, I don't know if you noticed the room. It's empty. You can hear kind of an echo. The corporate athlete advantage, the science of deepening engagement. All right, there's somebody before me has this page marked off. So let's see. Wow, this has probably been here for quite some time. That's quite sticky. Excuse me. Let's go right there. This is the calculus of commitment. The benefits of a new game. What does this old game of disengagement cost, and what value would emerge if we were to solve this problem? To calculate the benefits of a new game, you must differentiate between the current level of engagement in your organization and the level that is possible. The CEO of one of the world's largest and most profitable businesses once commented to me, "The only thing that limits our company from taking advantage of existing and new business opportunities is our shortage of qualified, fully engaged leaders." Senior executives across the full spectrum of industries resonate with this statement and its many implications. It's very true. You always hear you can't, good help is hard to find. There's increasing recognition that one of the primary jobs of a senior leader is to continually raise the performance capability of organizational talent in a way that is consistent with its mission and values. This realization is creating a merger of roles between the chief learning officers and the chief talent officers. The world's leading organizations are beginning to measure a CLO, which is Chief Learning Officer, I didn't even know they were there, success by examining the extent to which he or she closes the engagement gap in the high potential talent pool. Successful development efforts can be gauged by examining the slope of the performance capability growth curve. Okay. If the slope of the curve is sharper and more sustained than that of the competition, you will inevitably win the race. If not, you will suffer the consequences. It is the same for an Olympic athlete. At any specific moment in the build-up to an athletic competition, the question is, what is the slope of the performance growth curve relative to the targeted performance objectives, and how steady and sustained is the growth? In many ways, this is pure physics, and it begs that we observe the indisputable laws of energy management. If we violate these laws, we suffer. If we observe and harness them, we prosper. In this new game, what's at stake is nothing short of our viability to compete and win. I mean, that's not bad. I wish I knew what they were talking about, but I like it. Okay, we got yeah, I like this one. So we have a little quote. Let me see. Boom. So like right in the middle of everything, we got that. Let's see. Issues of leadership, talent, and employee engagement were identified to be among primary CEO's concerns. Over 4,500 leaders from around the world cited improving and leveraging talent as their second business priority on a list of 14, preceded only by improving customer service relationships. That's by Birthnow, PR, and Wellings RS 2005. Leadership Forecast 2005-2006, Best Practices for Tomorrow's Global Leaders. Woo! That was a big one. Let's go back into the beginning and see what this book is actually about, right? All right, we got principles, applications, and yeah. So, okay, these are just like, look, it's just like each individual person writes a different one, right? We got Jim Lower and Jack Grupel, Chris Osorio, Jim Lower, Raquel Mallow, Chris Jordan, Jack Grupel, Leo Greenstone, Alec McMillan, Fred Harburg, Jenny Evans, Jim Milado, Ray Smith, and Will Murray. Never heard of any of these people. But let's do the chapter 10 while we got like a couple minutes left. Navy SEAL Training and Energy Management, 142. Okay, Energy SEAL Training and Energy Management by Rear Admiral Ray Smith, U.S. Navy, retired. We had received our mission 7 days after Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait. 6 USAF C-5 and C-141 aircrafts landed in San Diego. Within hours, we departed for Saudi Arabia with 160 Navy SEALs, special boat sailors, and various other Navy specialists. We landed at the Saudi air base in Dhahran 36 hours later and offloaded our force and all of its equipment. Events were moving very quickly in August 1990. There was genuine concern that Saddam would invade Saudi Arabia and create an even greater threat to the world's oil supply. So I was not surprised to be met at Dhahran by an Army major who informed me I was to send a platoon of Navy SEALs to a location just south of the border dividing Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. We had been given the mission to train the Saudi Army General Staff in how to direct tactical airstrikes from the ground, something SEALs are trained to do. Thus, 7 days after our arrival in the kingdom, a SEAL platoon and support personnel departed our small, isolated base en route to the Saudi General Staff position south of the Kuwait border. Our platoon's deployment was the first by any U.S. combat unit and reported directly to General Schwarzkopf, staff, and ultimately the White House. A month later, these remarkable young men successfully completed the mission and were relieved by the Army Special Forces. Soon thereafter, we were assigned additional missions with expectation that we had the fitness and training to carry them out. Thus began a 7-month experience characterized by uncertainty, stress, and exceedingly long days. But first, a matter of finding a place to live. With a bit of foresight, I had contacted a SEAL officer in Bahrain prior to my departure and directed him to travel to Saudi Arabia. A relatively short drive across the causeway connecting the two nations and find our team a place to set up camp. In true SEAL fashion, he located an abandoned American beach compound circa 1960, just what we needed. With the help of U.S. Army logistics, we moved people and equipment to this compound on the shores of Half Moon Bay. We remained there until a few short weeks before combat operations began in January 91. We'll read one more paragraph because we are out of time. Half Moon Bay looked great. Cabanas, sand, volleyball courts, beautiful beaches. One minor problem, however, was the heat. August and September of 1990 still remained ingrained in my mind. The heat and humidity were unlike anything I'd ever experienced, but I was confident in the overall fitness of my men. So I directed that we begin to secure our small camp and commence training for our wartime missions. It didn't take long to realize we were in a work environment unlike any to which we had ever been exposed. Hydration became our first and highest priority. In fact, the first 2 weeks in Saudi Arabia were devoted solely or almost solely to obtaining an adequate supply of bottled water. Without consistent hydration during summer in Saudi Arabia, we were in grave danger. Nonetheless, establishing our camp and commencing training for our missions were required. So as tough Americans, we trudged on during those first few weeks. I soon realized that even with an adequate water supply, my men were prone to severe dehydrations, sometimes fainting due to the heat, humidity, and our inability to adapt to the climate, which I can't read anymore. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was a nice little story, right? I wanted to read more. I don't really know how that has anything to do with the corporate leader, right? And the science of deepening engagement, but it was an interesting story. I probably will read the rest of the story. It was interesting, right? But if you would like to read the rest of that story and the first story, which I kind of already forgot, but it's okay, right? You can read The Corporate Athlete Advantage, right? And I will have a link to this for Amazon. So just click the button below and I'll see you tomorrow. Well, later on, you know what I mean.